This a few moments ago at 14, third shot for Betsy King out of the bunker. On a fine play.
What a nice shot.
Now this is live. Betsy for her par to remain at 4 under. So Betsy King with a 2-shot lead over Sheehan and Amakapani. Now this is Colleen Walker for birdie at 17. And so Colleen Walker. Caroline Keggy now.
She has a very difficult lie deep in this Bermuda rough, 155 to the pin, over water all the way except about the last 12 or 13 yards.
Turnover.
Her say turnover. She's hit it good.
It releases on her, Mary, and it's going to go all the way to the back of the green.
She did the right thing, Roger. You had to get it over that water and make sure you have a putt at it for birdie, no matter if it's a 30 or 40 footer.
Caroline played her college golf at the University of New Mexico.
Rosie Jones, 127 to the pin. Slight side heel lie, ball above her feet. Means she'll just choke up on the club and the ball will work a little from right to left.
Rosie 3 over for the championship.
Does a lot of jiggling before she hits. She makes sure she's set.
Hang on.
Stay there.
Hang on.
Right there.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
She's fun to watch play, Dave. She talks to that ball all the time.
Oh, she's such a good, solid player. She's got 10 top 10 finishes this year. Very consistent. 7th on the money list.
88 was a big year for her when she won over 300,000 and 3 titles.
Now that's Beth Daniels' 4th shot.
As we'll go to the tee at 15. 352-yard par 4 where Betsy King and her group are set to play. Let's take a look at this par 4.
Medium length, 352 yards, and again a slight dog leg to the right there. Beautiful second shot into this hole. It looks similar to the 14th, but it's just about 40 yards longer. But you can see the narrow entrance there, the 4 bunkers up by the green. Back part of this green, about the back 1/8 of this green, slopes away from the player. So with the pins on the back, creates a little bit of a problem if you get too aggressive.
Great.
Tee shot of Hollis Stacy. Very still out here at the moment. Not much of a breeze at all. Rather cool on this Sunday after really hot temperatures in the 90s and high humidity earlier in the week.
Great job.
Betsy King.
Thank you.
Great rhythm, great swing through the ball there. She is really, looks like she's very much in control of what she's trying to do.
And we'll go to 13. Second shot for Patty Sheehan. 514-yard par 5.
Roger, that's just a layup with a 4 or 5 iron, 170 yards or so.
So Patty Sheehan is 2 back of Betsy King. Danielle Amakapani also 2 back, with Mary Murphy 3 behind our leader. Only 4 players under par in this final round of the Women's Open. Here we see what might have been the finest moment in the illustrious career of Pat Bradley. It's the final hole of the 1981 Women's Open, and Pat, who had a terrible time retaining a lead in those days, was trying to hold off a great surge by Beth Daniel. This was Pat's approach shot to the last green. birdie that followed enabled her to win by 1 shot. Well, Betsy King looking to win her 2nd consecutive United States Open championship with a 2-shot lead right now over Patty Sheehan and Daniela Macapani. Hollis Stacy at 1 over and 5 back at 15.
She's 150 yards, has a 6-iron.
Be right, baby.
Oh, I missed it, baby.
And she said she missed it.
Burger. Happy burger.
Betsy King is 145. Pin cut very deep here. 35 steps back from the front edge. That's safe out to the left. And that is a tough putt from there, believe me.
A long putt. And that, where that pin is cut, behind it, if you get it past the hole, it slopes back. Right now, let's go over to Rhonda Glenn. Rhonda?
Well, Danielle, you're sitting in our booth, 2 under par. How do you like your position?
Well, after I putted out on 18, I looked over at the scoreboard, and I hadn't been looking around since for about the last 4 holes. And I looked over, and I didn't realize how big that putt was, but I am ecstatic to be here.
You said you were more nervous now than you were when you had the putt.
I am nervous just looking at that board.
All right, we're going to take a look at the putt then that you made on the 18th hole. This was for birdie, and you had this one to go 2 under par. What were you trying to do with it?
Well,
make it, right?
Make it. It was straight up, and I couldn't have had an easier putt. It was inside the right edge, and I just wanted to make sure I hit it firm enough to get it there.
Your father's helped you a lot with your game. He was here earlier in the week and had planned to go home. Then what happened?
Well, I just told him now, I said, you better stay, because I don't know what's going to happen. I told him, I said, you stay, I don't care what happens.
And you're going to pay for it, right?
I said, I'll pay for the tickets.
Okay. You have a lot of composure for just a 3rd-year player, it seems.
Well, yeah, I think I do. I'm getting better. I'm learning a lot out here as the years go on, and I know that if I get mad out there, it's not going to help my game. And if I make a mistake like I did out there, I made a double, and I just I worked as hard as I could to get it back.
How was it playing 36 holes today?
Well, my legs are bothering me right now. But other than that, I kept drinking a lot of fluids today, and it was extremely warm this afternoon. But I'm a little tired. I think most of the girls will be.
Well, it's a good thing the USGA schedules playoffs on the day after the championship,
yeah, exactly.
Just in case. Your sister Dina is a very fine player. Now, what's she been doing recently?
She just turned pro and just won a mini tour tournament out in California, and we're real happy with that, with her progress. And she's having some problems with her leg right now, but plans to go through tour school at the end of this year, and hopefully she'll be out here with me.
All right, Daniela Macapani in the clubhouse at 2 under par, only 2 strokes behind the leader. And back to Roger.
Okay, thank you, Rhonda. And this is Patty Sheehan at 13, the par 5, her 3rd shot. This just a few moments ago.
Fly.
Patty's got it below the hole, had that putt for birdie to get to 3 under par. And at 16, Mary Murphy's 2nd shot. 16's a 346-yard par 4.
Slide. Cut. Get up.
And she says, get up, it better get up.
I would. She
Yeah.
said it.
Now Hollis Stacy at 15.
Hollis has really looked this shot over. She has a very funny kind of lie. It's not a bad lie, but it's just not. It's one that you don't play very often. It's kind of ragged. She's going to play it more like a putt. You can see her trying to get the feel.
Hollis 5 back of Betsy King.
We might mention Danielle said the course is playing even longer this afternoon in spite of having dried out somewhat than it did this morning.
Hurry, hurry, hurry.
Hollis will have that left for a par. She's played only 12 events this year.
She's got a lot of experience, so she's played a lot of good golf for a long time with her junior record and everything.
Won the U.S. Girls Junior Championship 3 times in a row, which is a record.
Look, and once again, we'll mention that only 4,000 tickets sold before this Open Championship. We've had some bad weather this week, and I don't know whether it was poor promotion on the part of the club, the USGA or whatever. The crowds just have not been out here, and they're missing some exciting golf in this this last day, 36 holes, and it's come down to Betsy King, who was earlier in this day in the 3rd round, 11 shots back of Patty Sheehan, now with a 2-shot lead, looking for her 2nd consecutive Open title. Next year, the Women's Open will be at Colonial in Fort Worth, and the year after that at Oakmont. So those are 2 great venues.
And if you thought this year it was hot, wait till we get to Fort Worth in '91.
Yeah, but the barbecue would be so good. The chicken fried steak down there.
What a great golf course, Colonial. The players are really looking forward to next year's Open.
Now, Betsy King.
This putt she has is one of the fastest on the golf course. Same putt Joanne Carner had this morning.
Ooh.
I would say she's reasonably calm there. That's great touch.
Now, at 18, this was Nancy Lopez for birdie a few moments ago, and once again, Rhonda, not to be.
Came very close last year. She's finished 2nd in this championship 3 times.
Finishes with a round of 73, 4 over for the championship, as Betsy King has this now for her par. And whether it's a 2-foot or a 20-foot putt, I think this maybe Rhonda is more routine than anything else. She has to go through the same routine every time when she lines up.
Routine is very important to a player, safely in. Any good player will tell you that you're set up on every shot, including putts.
Now at 16, Mary Murphy for birdie. This to get to 2 under and 2 back of Betsy King. Now Patty Sheehan at 13 for birdie. Now she just can't get one to drop. She'll tap that in, remain at 2 under. And 2 back of our leader, Betsy King. Sheehan is 5 over in this final round. Eighteen-hole playoffs are often anticlimactic, but not the one that decided the 1987 Women's Open. It featured the ever-popular Joanne Carner, the Japanese star Ayako Okamoto, and the extraordinary presence of England's Laura Davies, she of the routine 250-yard tee shot. The playoff went to Davies with a 71, to Okamoto 73, and Carner 74. 14th hole, 319-yard par 4.
It's kind of a little hole. You look at the scorecard and you say 319, I ought to birdie this, but it's just enough to lull you to sleep. You've got to watch the bunker in the right-hand rough there. Then your second shot into a very small green, small in the sense it's not very wide as you enter onto the green. Bunker short right and in the middle of the green along the left side.
And Jane Geddes on the tee at 14.
Well, Jane's coming off a birdie, and it's been a long time since she saw a birdie. She had a big smile on her face.
And she ripped that pretty good. By the way, Dottie Mockery is 4 under through 11 holes now in this final round. She's even par for the championship 16, a 346-yard par 4. And Hollis Stacy. Rhonda, what percentage of the ladies use metal woods? Can you make a guess at it?
A very high percentage of them. They believe that it gives them more distance. Patty Sheehan uses a persimmon driver still, but many of these players have gone to metal woods. I'd say probably 80%, Roger.
Now at 16, Betsy King.
Perfect.
346-yard par 4, and she is right down the middle.
It's a good driving hole. It's a narrow driving hole, but it's like a saddle up there in that it plays a little wider than the fairway measures because it's banked down to the center of the fairway on the right and the left.
And let's take a look at 16, David.
Yeah. Right through the trees. That's it. It's as you get right down to right about the middle of your screen now is where you see the right side and left side built up a little, so it funnels the ball back to the center of the fairway. Real difficult part here is the second shot. The green is so far above the players, you can just see the top part of the flag and the pin in the right today over the 2 bunkers that you see short right there. It's difficult to get exactly the distance there.
Now Mary Murphy on the tee at 17. Mary missed that short putt
at the flag.
on the last
A little
hole.
more. Come on. Right there.
And is at even par right now. Saturday, I'd like to remind you, ABC Pro Bowler Spring Tour hits the lanes in Texas for the $130,000 El Paso Open. And then on ABC's Wide World of Sports, Gianfranco Rossi meets schoolboy Darren Van Horn, plus more coverage of the Tour de France and the Caesars International Handicap. That's next Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Betsy King a 2-shot lead over Patty Sheehan and Danielle Amakapani. Crosby, Mockery, and Murphy at even par. Liselott Neumann of Sweden played a brilliant final round to win the 1988 Women's Open on a sweltering July day in Baltimore. She finished with a 69. Her final 9 holes were made glorious by 5 birdies, and Liselott glowed with satisfaction as she walked up the 18th fairway. And welcome back to the Atlanta Athletic Club. Patty Sheehan, her second shot at 14.
This is a good-looking shot from 136 yards.
Nicely done. Giving herself another good chance for a birdie. Now, 16, second shot for Hollis Stacy.
That was from 135.
Down.
Oh, lovely. Nearly jumped in the hole.
She's played some round this afternoon. Betsy King's just 2 yards closer at 133. 115 to the front. Pins 18 on. She's going to hit an 8-iron hard.
Work a little. Spin at it.
Just catches the green to the right of the pin. Betsy King, who's been the steadiest so far. I think that's probably a good way to describe her. Rounds of 72, 71, 71 as we've got Joanne Carner at 18, her second shot. Well, Joanne is 6 over in this final round.
She said that's the best shot I hit all day. A layup to a water hole.
I bet you she's glad to see this 36th hole come up here
She will sleep well tonight.
on this Sunday. And before Joanne played, Amy Alcott. Her second shot at par 5. Favoring the right-hand side, and it just catches the rough.
Well, we'll have to see if memory plays any part in this battle between Sheehan and King. On the last holes this morning, on the back 9, Betsy King had 3 pars and a bogey on the last 4 holes. Patty Sheehan was 4 over for the last 5 holes.
Look down the leaderboard, and what started out as a supposedly easy golf course, some players said the easiest setup they have seen in the United States Women's Open, it's turned rather tough. Only 3 players at this time under par. Asterisks indicate players have teed off on the backside. Low amateur so far is Jennifer Myers, whose last check was at 10 over. And Vicki Getz, the high school senior to be. There's Jennifer, 10 over. Still a lot of holes to play. But Getz shot 79 today, 12 over par. There's our leader, Betsy King, looking to become the first back-to-back winner since Hollis Stacy in 77-78 as we go to Patty Sheehan's birdie putt at 14.
An attempt of about 10 feet, a fairly flat putt, although if it dies, might just slide off to her right.
Finally did it. Boy, she'd given herself a lot of good opportunities, and Sheehan now with the birdie is one back of King. Well, after 5 bogeys in this final round, she finally makes a birdie. Boy, she's really, David, regrouped and gotten it together.
Well, there's definitely a different look about her. Last year when she started going bad, I mean, she just got lower looking and lower looking. She's fighting back here.
Shot 40 on the front side. That being Patty Sheehan as we look at Joanne Carner's third shot at 18. Terrific shot by Joanne Carner.
And they still love her in Atlanta. Doesn't matter what she shoots.
Well, we have a very exciting finish coming up to this 1990 United States Women's Open. Betsy King now a one-shot lead over Patty Sheehan. Daniela Makapani has finished. She's sitting back at 2 under as Betsy King has this putt for birdie at 16. And we'll have that for her par. Betsy earlier today in the 3rd round trailed Patty Sheehan by 11 shots. Mary Murphy had the low 3rd round score of 69. She has this putt for birdie to get back to 1 under. She 3-putted the last hole. And Betsy King tapping in for her par to remain at 4 under for the championship, 2 under. Talked about back-to-back winner Stacy in 77-78, Mickey Wright in 58-59, Susie Burning in 72-73, and Donna Capone in 69 and 70. So it's been some 12 years since back-to-back Open champions have thrived as Amy Alcott hits her 3rd shot at 18. And leaves it way out to the right. We'll return with more golf action from the 1990 U.S. Women's Open Golf Championship after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
The U.S. Women's Open Golf Championship. Brought to you by Scope, the best thing, first thing in the morning.
At 16, Hollis Stacy for birdie. This to get to even par for the championship. And 4 under in this final round. And Hollis Stacy now is 4 back of Betsy King. Now on the tee at 15, Patty Sheehan.
Looks like she's playing with a fairway wood of some sort.
Actually, Rhonda, I hate to correct you, but some time ago, Patty went to a metal driver. Everybody's high-tech now.
Okay. Thanks, Judy.
And another good drive by Patty Sheehan. 1 shot back of Betsy King. Well, the situation is this. These two ladies fought it out last year at Indianwood up north of Detroit for the Open Championship before Sheehan made a triple bogey to knock herself out of contention. Daniela Makapani has finished. Elaine Crosby came in with a round of 70. And, of course, players teeing off on both the front and the back side, so it's impossible to show you everybody as they finish. You just can't do it since they're finishing on the front side. You know, the asterisk indicates those players that teed off at 10 and finish at 9 as we go out to 17 now. And Hollis Stacy.
Hole playing 180 yards. Hollis has a 3-iron. Very still out here. No breeze at all. Lost that to the right.
And I believe it came up short of the bunker, Rossi.
It's a big break if it did, even if it's in that rough, because you're pitching straight up the hill. I think it's a lot easier shot if it is short of the bunker.
Rossi, when's the last time you went 36?
Well, a couple of those ESPN telecasts that we do half, you know, we went quite a few holes.
Try Chicago.
This is Betsy King with a 5-iron. It's right at it.
And just catches the fringe.
That was a very smart play, Roger, to take a less club and hit it hard. You don't want to fool around trying to play half shots at this time.
Now, at 18, Joanne Carner for birdie. This for 77. Enough.
Unfinished.
She said, I'm finished. Look at that. Pretty good left-handed motion right there, huh?
But the Braves ought to look for her.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Do it in the water.
Amy Alcott for par at 18. Former Open champion. Shoots a 73 and finishes one over. Now, Patty Sheehan at 15.
That's an 8-iron, and it's started right towards the hole.
Shot there.
Oh, terrific shot for Patty Sheehan. Boy, her tempo, David, is so much better now.
It certainly was on that shot, but what I said before, there's a whole different look about her compared to last year. When she started going bad, she gave into it. She's really fighting back well now.
Now, Betsy King.
Tom Watson says you don't learn by winning major championships, you learn by losing major championships, and that's what happened to Patty last year, so perhaps she learned the necessary things.
Now, Betsy King for birdie at 17.
Coming straight up the hill, about 30 feet.
Betsy will have that left for her par. She'll go ahead and finish. She'll go back and check it one more time.
No, she does her practice strokes, and then she goes back and sets it, aligns it.
Good three.
Now at 18, this is Mary Murphy looking at this birdie putt.
Well, it'd be great if she were to knock this in. I think it's going to be her best finish ever. Oh, she made it. Oh.
Mary Murphy finishes this championship at 1 under, a final round of 74, and this is the best day of her golfing life.
Well, the best she'd ever finished before was a solo 6th, her first year on tour, and if things stay the way they are, she's going to finish 4th here. That's terrific.
Inspired, of course, her coach passed away this week, and we moved to 17 and Hollis Stacy for par. She was in the bunker. So after the birdie at 16, a bogey at 17 as we move to Pat Bradley. Now for birdie at 18. That was a tough one for Pat. She made a double bogey at 14 and another double bogey at 15. Finishes the championship at 4 over. Let's take a look at Mary Murphy one more time. Kind of a Rhonda bittersweet sort of week for her.
Well, she said she was doing it for Earl Stewart, and whatever inspiration that gave her, I think it's going to help her the rest of the year.
Well, Murphy, one of 4 players under par in this championship, as Patty Sheehan looks over this birdie putt to move into a tie with Betsy King at 4 under.
Well, she just had the advantage of seeing Meg Mallon make almost the same putt. There's not a lot of break to the putt, just slightly left to right. She probably wants to keep it inside the left edge of the hole.
Sheehan for birdie and a share of the lead. With 3 holes to go, Patty Sheehan has tied Betsy King, who's on the tee at 18.
Good ball.
Good ball.
Great shot.
Absolutely perfect drive.
Up the right-hand side. So Patty Sheehan has really come back. She has moved into a tie with Betsy King. They're both at 4 under. Betsy King was surely the LPGA Player of the Year in 1989. Shots like this one enabled Betsy to win her first Women's Open title at the Indianwood Golf and Country Club outside Detroit. At the end, it was a walk in the park. Betsy won by 4 shots over runner-up Nancy Lopez. Welcome back. The Atlanta Athletic Club final round of this 1990 Women's Open. Hollis Stacy on the tee at 18.
Yeah.
Got that to turn over pretty good. Hollis at 1 over for the championship after making bogey at 17. And we move to the tee at 16 and Patty Sheehan.
Fairway. Pick out of there. Hard.
And got that bounce left, and maybe things are starting to work right again for Patty Sheehan, who spoke with our Rhonda Glenn. And Rhonda asked Patty if she really wanted to win this title.
The last couple of years I've come pretty close, and I've been very disappointed last year, but not disappointed at all the year before because I played very well. both years I learned a lot, and I just know that I want to win this championship, and if I do it this year, that's great, and if I do it some other time, that's fine too.
And there's Patty Sheehan, who at one time in the third round had a 9-shot lead over the field, but went through a stretch of 23 holes and 9 over par, relinquished that lead to Betsy King, but now has moved back into a tie. And I can't help but think, David, that as we look at Betsy at 18, that boy, if Patty could come back and win this with what's transpired, I think she'll be awfully glad it was this year and not next year.
Well, it'll prove a lot to herself.
Betsy King's going to take an iron to lay this ball up on the flat. She does not want to hit it too far and get on the downslope, which would be a very difficult pitch. She wants to hit it about 190 yards. Couldn't lay it down any better than that. That's perfect. I'm not sure if she knows she's tied right now. There's no scoreboard around here. She'll know pretty quick when she comes up here.
Hollis Stacy next to play.
Hollis hit a big drive. I'm surprised that she drove it by Betsy. She's lost it a little to the right.
Sit, Mommy. Oh, the tired.
Here, Hollis is going tired. Well, I'm sure they are. These ladies have played 36 holes as they come to 18, David.
It's a nice finishing hole, Roger. Nice wide driving area, maybe really the widest on the course, and the hole has a slight dog leg up where you see you want to lay up your second shot. We just saw Betsy King lay it up just to that level part right there. And you have a shot down into a green that is very wide. It's over 120 feet wide, but only about 35 or 40 feet deep, and the pin today in the center of the green, just 14 steps back from the front fringe.
Oh, it's very still here as we approach 5:20 Eastern time. Weather has been absolutely perfect today. See birdies 48, bogeys 56, scoring average at 5.09. After some really terrible weather parts of Thursday, all day Friday, and even into Saturday. 4 inches of rain, and we're going to give you some bonus coverage as we're going to move to the 5th hole and Dottie Mockery for birdie at the par 4, 335 yard. Dottie teed off on the backside, shot 33 there, and she has just gone to 1 under for this championship, and she is 5 under on her round today, so she will be finishing up on the front side. So Dottie Mockery there is now 1 under par after making that birdie, the asterisk indicating that she did indeed tee off in the backside, and that's what had to happen today to get this 36 holes of golf and the final round of this Women's Open completed. Groups of 3s off both sides, and something that's really never been done before.
We were discussing Patty Sheehan's attitude. I think in the past Patty has almost let destiny take her. It's not a complacency really, but just sort of letting things happen and wishing to win. And now she seems really determined, and she's got more of a will to win. Whether or not she's able to come through in these last couple of holes, I think she's shown something to herself coming back.
Now, Patty Sheehan, second shot at the par 4 16th.
Well, from the same spot, 132 yards, she's just seen Jane Geddes hit an 8-iron, I think. She's right between a 7 and 8-iron. It looks to me like she took out the 7-iron. The hole plays steeply uphill and about a club longer.
Boy, another fine, crisp iron shot by Patty Sheehan. That's the way she was hitting her irons yesterday.
Well, that was a good shot because this morning she stood right in the middle of that fairway, if you remember, and shot it straight right with a short iron.
Now at 18, third shot for Hollis Stacy.
Yards, looking right down the throat of the green. As a 9-iron.
That's a graphic that indicates how well she's played today.
Anytime you do that, 14 greens, you hit a lot of greens. 14 and up, you're playing well.
Oh, that's so gross. God.
Well, she didn't hit the green. One of the few she's missed today.
Betsy King is 105, pitching wedge.
But she spun it back here today, didn't carry it far enough in there. She did that time.
Betsy King will putt for birdie and the lead at 18, and we'll return with more golf action from the 1990 U.S. Women's Open Golf Championship after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
ABC Sports coverage of the 1990 U.S. Women's Open Golf Championship continues.
Alda Stacey just off the green for birdie at 18. And leaves it short and below the hole.
Well, that's really slow putting that way, Raj, especially this late in the day. Now, all the weather we've had and the growing grass, that just shows you too how steep that slope is into this green. Putting from the other side, of course, it's much faster.
Well, this has been a very long day, but it's been a very exciting day. At the end of the third round, which concluded around about 1:30 Eastern time, Patty Sheehan at 7 under, Mary Murphy at 3 under, then King and Carner at 2, Amakapani and Caroline Kagi at 1 under. And now, the way it stands, Betsy King, Patty Sheehan at 4 under. Amakapani has finished at 2 under. Dottie Mockery still with 4 holes to play. She's going to finish on the front side. And Mary Murphy has finished at 1 under. Now, for the lead, Patty Sheehan for birdie at 16. So Patty gave herself a chance there, and we'll have that short putt for her par to remain at 4 under, and we'll move to 18. And Betsy King now with this birdie putt and to take the lead. So Betsy King will have that short putt for her par, a final round of 2 under 70. As she will mark and let her playing partners finish. And this lady, who earlier today in the third round was 11 shots behind Patty Sheehan. We'll watch Geraldine Britt's putt for this par at 18. Geraldine 6 over on her final round.
I have not seen her make a putt with this long putter in 2 days, Roger. Not one.
There's one.
Well, if that were my long putter, then I know where it'd be going.
Yeah,
solitary confinement.
Betsy King, Patty Sheehan both have short par putts remaining at their respective holes to remain at 4 under, but King at 18, she will have finished as Patty Sheehan now at 16. Nicely done by Patty Sheehan as she now after birdies at 14 and 15 with the par there at 16. And Hollis Stacy for her par at 18. And Hollis with a terrific final round, 3 under 69. And 1 over for the championship, and all the folks in Savannah, Georgia, and those who followed her here awfully happy as Betsy now has this putt for par. And there you have it. 2 under 70. She's at 4 under par, and will sit back and wait for Patty Sheehan, who is at that same number, to play the final 2 holes in the 1990 Women's Open. Patty Sheehan, Betsy King tied for the lead in the 45th United States Women's Open at 4 under par. Betsy King going over her scorecard, making sure all of those scores are right. Now, this at the 6th hole, Dottie Mockery for birdie. 143-yard par 3. Mockery has just birdied the 5th hole. And now she's just birdied the 6th hole. And that gets her to 6 under par on her round today. And she has 3 holes left as we go to 17 and Patty Sheehan.
180 yards, Patty has a 4-iron. I cannot tell you how much respect former players have for players who can lose it like Patty has today and regain her composure and put it back together. It's really hard to do. This is way right.
Pretty good. Good shot, Jay.
It just does catch the bunker.
Looks like it's on the downslope too, Roger, with that pin close to you. The ball comes out low. It's not the kind of lie you want. If in fact that's what it did.
She's very tired, and her caddy and I have talked about it, and it's really not so much weariness as it is just stress telling on her.
Difficult par 3.
Very emotional player, and this 36 holes has taken its toll.
David, tired swing here?
Yeah. When the swing looks tired, you first look at the legs, because then they don't work. And if they don't, you can hit it anywhere, right, left, short. But I think what Judy said about the mental part of it, you know, she had the longest day on Friday. Only got to play 3 holes, had to come back Saturday morning at 7 or 8 o'clock to start again, they thought, and then didn't tee off till 1 o'clock. Got finished late last night. Been a long few days for her.
Now this is Meg Mallon, who is coming off a bogey at 16, but 2 under on her final round.
Meg with a 3-iron, and she's really played well the last 27 holes.
Kick short and then bounces up on the green, and Meg Mallon will have a birdie putt at 17. So Betsy King and Patty Sheehan at 4 under par. Amakapani has finished. Dottie Mockery is playing on the front side right now as you take a look at the swing of Patty Sheehan on the tee at 17.
Awful lot of movement there before she got her legs got going. We'll just see here if she starts down, if she spins out of the way, because the ball goes to the right. We know where it went. You can see it just start that way.
And we're tied in the final round of this United States Women's Open. Betsy King has finished her round at 2 under 70. Dottie Mockery is playing on the front side right now and finishing up. She's at 2 under. Take a look at the rest of the leaderboard. There is Patty Sheehan, her second shot at 17.
Boy, off a downhill slope on the side of the bunker there with only about 15 feet of green to work with. Couldn't have a harder shot.
Well, that's just what happens when you get those kind of lies. You get them at the worst possible times, too. 71st hole of a U.S. Open.
Well, she's got an awfully long putt now for her par. And a putt realistically that I'm sure she would like to just get down in 2, and she's got the par 5 18th laying in front of her. And Betsy King, Patty Sheehan tied at 4 under par. Makapani and Mockery at 2 under. And right now, let's go to Rhonda Glenn. Rhonda.
Well, Betsy King, here you are in our booth tied for the lead. And this morning at the 3rd hole, you were 11 shots behind. Did you think this could happen?
Not really. Not without me shooting a 67, maybe even 267. So Patty was playing so well, but I think the fact that we played 36 today was probably worked against her a little bit with the poor finish in the first round. She didn't really have time to recoup and get it going again, but just had to come right back out and play.
Well, I know you're tired, but what's on your mind as you sit here and wait for Patty Sheehan to play the last 2 holes?
I'm happy. I hit the ball very well today, both rounds. I missed 5 greens in the last 2 rounds, so played a lot better tee to green. The putting was a little shaky. Didn't miss anything short, but just gave myself a lot of 20, 30 footers, and it was hard to convert them. But I'm happy with how I played.
All right, you were scrambling earlier in the week, but you had a fine round today. Did you make any adjustments to make this comeback?
No, I got a lesson Wednesday and been working on the same things. Usually it takes a day or 2, and I think I felt a little bit more comfortable by the fact that I got to hit quite a few balls by Sunday, and I think that's what I needed was a couple days.
All right, we're going to watch Patty Sheehan here. She has a rather long putt for a par here on 17, Betsy.
Well, I've seen her make them before, so I wouldn't count her out, and she came back with 2 birdies, I guess, the last 2 holes, so she's fighting for it.
And a fight it has been today. What a battle out there between you two. Did it affect you at all not playing with the closest competitors?
I think it probably worked to my advantage. I was a little bit ahead of Patty, and Hollis played well, and I think that kept me going a little bit too.
This doesn't go in. You have the lead. Okay, Betsy, 1-stroke lead, 1 hole to go.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
What would it mean to you to win 2 Opens?
I'm pretty surprised if that would happen. Just going into the week, I didn't feel like I was playing that well, and I think you're not going to see Patty falter quite as much as she did today, I don't think, too many times, and I was just fortunate to be the one that was there and played solid golf today.
You really seem to be freewheeling it this last 18 holes, much more so than earlier in the week.
I think because I felt more confident with my swing, I was starting to hit the ball better, and therefore I was going at the pins. The greens were holding very well, unlike a normal U.S. Open, and I think that made it easier to play more aggressively.
Has it been tiring for you this year, having been leading money winner, having broken so many records with the media appearances and your new involvement in the political side of the LPGA?
That surprised me a little bit. It's been more time-consuming than I anticipated. I enjoy it, but it's a lot of work too. And I don't think I got a great winner this year. I didn't get quite as much off time as I needed, and I came out, and I always try 100%. There's no question about that, but maybe I was a little bit too tired to keep it going. It's easy to keep your patience when things are going your way, but when you're not, it takes a little bit more patience, and perhaps I was a little bit too tired to have that.
All right, you stay right here, and we'll go back to Roger Twibell.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Rhonda. And at 17, taking a look at Meg Mallon right now, and not to forget, we've got a camera over with Dottie Mockery, who is 2 under par. Meg Mallon is 1 over for this championship. 2 under on her round today. And Meg runs that by. Now we're going to go over to the 7th hole, 385-yard par 4 and Dottie Mockery.
Dottie's 175 yards from the hole. I think this is the hardest hole on the golf course. Uphill second shot, has a 4-iron. And that ball is right on the flag.
And it releases right past the pin to the fringe on the back of the green. And Dottie Mockery playing in relative obscurity over there on the front side as we move to Patty Sheehan now with this putt for bogey at 17, and she needs this desperately. Remember, 18 is a par 5. Patty Sheehan now one back of Betsy King with one hole left to play. That is the par 5 18th. So Betsy King one shot ahead of Patty Sheehan, looking for her second consecutive Open Championship. Hollis Stacy was the last to do that in 77-78. Good tournament for Daniela Makapani. Dottie Mockery still out on the golf course with 3 holes to play. And let's go to Bob Rosberg. Bob, is there anybody following Dottie Mockery? Do they realize how well she's playing today?
Well, the sign says she's 6 under par. Everybody can read that, Roger, but there's nobody out here to read it. There are about 10 people, a few marshals. But she was very, very unlucky with that second shot there. It carried about 25 feet short of the hole and didn't quite grab like she thought it would, but she has a very makeable putt from about 18 feet.
And let's go back to Rhonda Glenn right now, who's with Betsy King here at our broadcast position.
Well, Betsy, how do you feel now? There's Dottie chewing up the front 9.
She's playing very well. She had a great wood in there. Could have been closer than what it turned out to be. She's pretty much of a streak player. She won at Virginia this year, and I think she beat the field by 6 or 7 shots. And a fellow Furmanite player doing it to me right now. So.
Oh, you Furman alumnus stick together. That is her husband caddying for her.
Yes, Doug.
All right. Well, we'll just stand by and see what happens.
All right. Thank you, Rhonda. And Dottie's going to pull the pin out herself as they survey this putt. Looks like Rossi, is it resting against the collar there?
No, it's really up on the collar. I think it's better there than it would have been if it stopped an inch short. This putt is going to be a little slick going down the hill, but as we've said all week, the greens here are not as quick as most open greens, so it's not the kind of putt you really fear.
Well, is she going to use the putter or the flag stick there?
I think she's going to leave the flag in.
There
yes.
You go.
Going to putt it.
Well, Dottie 14th on the money list, just under 120,000. But wouldn't this be something? Dottie Mockery, who is, because of the 36 hole of golf here on this Sunday at the Atlanta Athletic Club, having to tee off on the backside first, and currently 6 under on her round today. And of course that would equal the round that Patty Sheehan and Jane Geddes had in the opening round. Those have been the low rounds so far. 66. Went to Furman. You get a little nod from Betsy King over there. Now this is for birdie. This is to get to 3 under and 1 back.
Find it.
Awfully good move at it. And Dottie will have that for her par as we move to the tee at 18 and Patty Sheehan.
Go, Patty.
Good drive by Patty Sheehan at 18. And while we've got a minute, another in our series of lessons from Bobby Jones, who is a member of this Atlanta Athletic Club. Today, for many of us, the ultimate question: how to cure a slice. And we welcome you back to the Atlanta Athletic Club final round of this United States Women's Open, where Betsy King, looking for her second Open championship in a row, leads Patty Sheehan by 1 right now. Dottie Mockery still out on the course on the front side at 2 under. And the rest of the leaderboard. After the first round, 21 players were under par. There was a lot of talk how this was the easiest open course they've played in quite some time, but today we see right now just 5 players under par as Patty Sheehan gets set for her second shot at 18.
Well, this fairway wood's kind of low and not very pretty, but it's right down the middle, and she's put it right where she wanted to.
Now, Rosie Jones on the green at 18 for par, and she makes that. Final round to 74, 2 over for the championship. There's little controversy earlier today at the Atlanta Athletic Club, and our Frank Hannigan's going to take this opportunity to discuss it.
If you follow the golf news, you've read recently about the controversy over the absence of black members at Shoal Creek, the site of next month's PGA Championship. Coverage of that issue will be part of our coverage of the PGA Championship. There are no black members at this Atlanta Athletic Club either, but the club has issued what seems to us a fair and sensible statement. It says in part, currently our club does not have a black member. Some may infer that this means they are not eligible or welcome. This is simply not true. Black members will be welcome in our club and will be extended the same privileges and courtesies as any other member. The price is not cheap, but prices at private golf clubs are not cheap anywhere. The initiation fee is $30,000. By the way, this is not a Birmingham, nor an Atlanta, nor a Southern story. It's an American story.
Okay, thank you very much, Frank. And just a few moments ago at the par 3/8, Dottie Mockery.
This is a fairway wood.
Come on, honey, keep moving. Come on.
And that's a beautiful golf shot right there by Dottie Mockery.
And she'll have that for birdie to get to 3 under par with 2 holes left as you look down at the 18th here. The Riverside course at the Atlanta Athletic Club. Betsy King holds the 1-shot lead over Patty Sheehan, who is down there on the 18th fairway. Jane Geddes will be first to play in that group.
144 yards for Jane. She has an 8-iron.
1 over on her round this late afternoon. Now Patty Sheehan will be next to play.
Well, we can't hear her caddy encourage her. Best I can figure, it's exactly 133 yards to the hole. Patty either has to swing from her heels with a 9-iron or hit a little late. I would think now you want to tear at one. She's pulled it.
Well, she is to the left of the pin and above it.
You know, Roger, the look on her face simply attests to how important this championship is to all the players.
Well, last year at Indian Wood outside of Detroit, she shot a final round 79. And at one time had trailed Betsy King on the front side by just 1 shot. Today, Sheehan is 4 over as Meg Mallon gets set for her 3rd shot.
Keep coming. Roll down there now. Okay, Meg.
Fine shot by Meg Mallon at 18. So 2 players still with a chance. Patty Sheehan needing a birdie at 18 to tie Betsy King. And Dottie Mockery playing her final 2 holes on the front side. And with a birdie putt at the par 3 8th hole to get to 3 under. On the front side, the 9th hole is a 366-yard par 4. Well, why don't we take this opportunity now to take a look at the field here in alphabetical order and pick out your favorite player. The asterisk indicates those that are finishing on the front side. And take a look. And amateur Vicky Getz at 12 over. She played very well in this championship. Kate Hughes, another amateur. Dottie Mockery and Kathy Marino both out on the front side, as is Jennifer Myers, who's now at 13 over. So maybe Vicky Getz will end up being the low amateur, which really opens up a lot of possibilities for her, Rhonda.
She was low amateur last year. She's our U.S. Women's Amateur Champion and will be playing in the Curtis Cup matches in 2 weeks.
Betsy King, you had a chance to play with Vicky Getz. What did you think of her game?
I played with Vicky the first 2 days, and I think the only thing she lacks is a little bit of length. I mean, her short game's probably better than 90% of the people in the world, or 9% of the tour players. She has a great short game, a lot of feel, a lot of composure, but I just think she needs about 20 yards to be able to play day in, day out on the tour.
Betsy, we're looking at Patty Sheehan right now for her birdie putt. You saw where the ball landed? You got any idea what this putt's going to do for her?
It should move from left to right. It's kind of a side hill break, or it's a tough putt.
Well, she didn't get it there.
Betsy, what a heartbreaker for Patty. And it's not yours yet, but I know you feel for your fellow competitor.
Well, Patty's had a great year, and you know, you just sometimes you're just going to have bad last rounds. So we all have them, and she played very well the first 2 days. I think it's hard to win the Open from the lead, particularly when you get a big lead. It's almost like you're waiting for the tournament to end, and you're hoping that the holes run out a little sooner. I know I had a lead at the Dinah Shore this year and played poorly the last 9 holes, so you never know.
Dottie Mockery for birdie at 8.
Dottie has about a 25-footer, and she got great teaches from both of her playing partners, Dale Egling and Kathy Marino. They putted from the same exact line. The ball's going to come a little from right to left. And it must be slower than the players think, because both of the other players left theirs quite a bit short.
Rossi, she know where she's at?
Well, there was a scoreboard at the last hole, so she knew that that Betsy King was in at 4 under par.
Hit it.
So, Dottie Mockery will have that for par, and she's at 2 under now with just 1 hole left as we go to Meg Mallon at 18 for birdie. Just slid by on the left-hand side, but Meg will finish 2 under, 70. The final round, 1 over for the championship. And she played pretty strong over the last 27 holes.
Good looking golf swing she has. She's an impressive looking player.
Now at 18, Patty Sheehan has this putt for par. Final round of 76. 3 under for the championship, but 1 shot back of Betsy King. Well, it's a very difficult moment for Patty Sheehan. Last year she was so close, made a triple bogey at the 8th hole when she trailed Betsy by 1 at that time. And then today at one time having an 11-shot lead over Betsy King, and then later a 9-shot lead over the field. Entered the final round with a 4-shot lead over Mary Murphy, and this is how the leaderboard shapes up. Dottie Mockery still out on the course with 1 hole left to play. And we're going to stay until she plays her second shot at 9 because there's still a chance. And as long as there's a chance, we'll keep it here with you. Well, next Saturday, that's a big day for us here on ABC Sports. Defending champion Mark Calcavecchia, the world's top golfers, tee off at the game's most prestigious course at St. Andrews. And it's the 119th British Open. And our live 18-hole coverage from Scotland begins at 10 a.m. Eastern right here on ABC. And unless Dottie Mockery can pull off a miracle, I guess we'll all be making our planes on time. And Dottie Mockery is at the 9th tee, 366-yard par 4.
She was very discouraged that she left that putt short, Roger. As I said, the other 2 left there so far short, and you could kind of tell it just wasn't rolling like the other greens. It's getting late in the day. You know, still has a chance, but she makes 2 here. Well, we shouldn't catch our planes.
There's a look, David, at that 9th hole.
It's a nice par 4, Roger. This is one of the wetter fairways, or has been during the week after the rain. The bunker on the right-hand side you see in the right-hand rough there is really not in play except if you're a short hitter. But where you do not want to go here is left. I've seen a lot of people in that left-hand rough. Hard shot out of there. Of course, fairway is always delightful on an open course.
She has killed it right down the middle of the fairway.
Dottie Mockery's tee shot at the 9th hole. We'll return with more golf action from this United States Women's Open Golf Championship after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Next year, the Women's Open moves on to a new environment. It'll be played in Texas for the first time. The host club will be none other than Colonial in Fort Worth, where Craig Wood won a U.S. Open in 1941. The club where Ben Hogan has been such a guiding spirit and the site of the annual Colonial Tournament on the PGA Tour.
Patty, you're extremely gracious to even talk to us. I know how painful losing this championship is to you right now.
Yeah, it hurts a lot.
Well, you know, tomorrow you'll know what I'm going to tell you right now. There's a whole lot of players who have never had a chance to win or lose the U.S. Open, so better days are coming, and you have a lot of fans. This was maybe just not meant to be today.
Well, I figured that if I played like this the first 2 days, I'd miss the cut, so I can look at it in a positive light.
Do you think the 36-hole finish had any bearing on your finish here, Patty, or did you just want it a little bit too badly?
Well, on the second 9, I seemed to start to feel a little bit weird and didn't seem to get it back till the back 9 here, and I just didn't feel well all day, and I tried to overcome it by my mind, but I couldn't.
Well, you're very strong emotionally almost all the time. We really enjoyed your performance here early this week. We enjoyed all of your performance this week.
Thank you very much.
See you next time.
Thanks.
Back to you, Roger.
Okay. So, Betsy King has one more shot to sit back and experience from Dottie Mockery, who's out playing the 9th hole, and Bob Rosberg is out at 9.
She has driven it right in the middle of the fairway. She has 170 yards to the hole. She is going to watch her playing partner play first. Marino is going to play here.
Kathy Marino.
She's having a good round. She's 1 under par this afternoon.
This flagstick is on the back of the green here, and this green has a crest in it. It's very hard to see the hole.
That shot's going to catch the bunker.
And it just comes up short there. So, Dottie Mockery is at 2 under par, and she has to hole this fairway shot to move into a tie with Betsy King. Dottie Mockery's had a terrific day. She is 6 under par. That equals the low round of this championship.
Roger, this is the time to take enough club. Yeah. You don't want to come up short here. But she's played beautifully. You know, just to have a shot at shooting 65, or possibly if she holds this shot 64, is some kind of a finish. And whatever she does happen to finish in this tournament, she's going to remember this for a long time.
Right, she had a good open in Baltimore, was it?
She did. She is a very fierce competitor, never say die.
What do you call her, Hot Pepper, after her maiden name?
Hot Pepper. Well, when she was in college, she was pretty temperamental. Not so now.
Oh, get in! Come on! Get in!
Good shot. Very
Not
good.
on this Sunday, and Betsy King has just won her second consecutive United States Women Open Championship. Congratulations, Betsy.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Roger. She was yelling, "Get in!" She was scaring me a little bit there.
Well, now you know what Curtis Strange go through. You got 3 next year.
All right.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed this. From the Atlanta Athletic Club in Duluth, Georgia, for all of us here at ABC Sports, I'm Roger Twibel. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week at St. Andrews for the British Open. So long, everybody.
The U.S. Women's Open Golf Championship has been brought to you by Lincoln, what a luxury car should be. By Karsten Manufacturing, makers of the custom-fit, custom-built Ping i2, there is a difference. And by AT&T, the right choice. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.